So let's get to this. Avengers.
Yeah.
It's the release. Now, that's the reason why the shift is sparking speculation. When we talked about this on Capes and Cowls, but I want to talk to Roka about it. Following Thursday's news that Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars have been delayed 7 months, each to December 26 and December 27, respectively, the fallout of that seismic shift is only starting to be felt. Disney and Marvel indicated at the time the delay was to allow more time to execute a gargantuan vision. Interesting, the reaction from Marvel fans on social media overall has been one that's been fairly understanding. With such a short amount of time between the start of production and release for the films of the scale with their major post-production needs, 12 months seemed highly ambitious, if not right, ludicrous.
Yeah.
Gap is now 19 months, which is more typical for an event blockbuster. More concerning for fans going by the reactions is what this means for Spider-Man Brand New Day and X-Men will have a knock-on effect of delaying those titles, especially with Marvel subsequently yanking 3 untitled Marvel film release slots off the slate on Friday. Interestingly, Marvel did leave 1 untitled film release slot open for July 23rd, 2027. The 4th Tom Holland-led Spider-Man is currently slated for July 31st, 2026, releasing, meaning it will now come out before the events of Doomsday now, rather than being the Marvel film release between the two Avengers. As reports indicated, it is mostly a standalone work, and with Holland not expected to appear in Doomsday, it should mostly be unaffected by this date change and thus could stay where it is. As is, the time between Fantastic Four, First Steps, Spider-Man Brand New Day will be the longest gap between MCU films released since the pandemic-induced 2-year gaps between Spider-Man Far From Home and Black Widow. The events of the Avengers expect to heavily impact the new X-Men film, which may not show up until 2028 at this point. However, we'll find out more in the upcoming weeks. All right, John, spill the beans. What are you hearing? What's going on?
The Spider-Man film, I think, is going to stay where it is because I think the Spider-Man film is going to set up other stuff that we're going to see in Doomsday.
Sorry, that's what it was, by the way. It was the Spider-Man one. They said that that Deadline was reporting, or Hollywood Reporter was reporting that she's playing the daughter of Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. They're saying that. We broke that on the show.
Right.
So
Right.
I did specifically.
You did. Continue. Sorry.
But got no credit because I'm not in trade. But yeah, this whole situation to me is interesting. And like you said, Jeff and I knew months ahead of time that they were going to push this thing because it was madness to think they were going to do it in 12 months unless they used AI. And they were never going to do that for the PR hit they would take. So I also think that maybe the story wasn't fully done either, Kristian, because I think if you've got a script that you're ready to go and you've got everybody lined up, why are you waiting so long? So I think this has been in process for quite some time. And now they're finally shooting and all of that. And there's still people they're trying to sign. There's still people they're trying to put together. So I do think this is a smart move by them. I think they want to own December and see how that goes with both of their films. And I do think X-Men does get pushed to 2028. Now, it was supposed to come out 3 months after Secret Wars, because we're going to get all the X-Men introduced in either Doomsday or Secret Wars total. So I think that's what you're going to see there. But I mean, Jeff broke on Hot Mic on Thursday that they're still casting people because apparently Ghost Rider is apparently someone they're looking to have in the movie. And some reports over the weekend were saying they're talking to Ryan Gosling about being Johnny Blaze and bringing him in to be Ghost Rider for Doomsday. So This is interesting situation. You want to talk about a Paramount film or a Mission Impossible film that's $400 million? This is a $500 million film already, and we haven't even gotten into Secret Wars. Like, God knows how much that's going to be with all the people.
Aren't they going to shoot both back to back though?
Yeah, well, but how many people are they adding? That's what I want to know. How much is this $1 billion production? I guess is what I'm getting at when you combine both movies and what they're going to spend. You know?
Yeah, and the question is, if you make both movies for $1 billion? You know, the risk is obviously monumental, but but the payoff is, you know, a $2 to $3 million profit.
But I think that's why they yanked those films off as well. It's not just about narrative; it's about saving money. And Iger made it really clear.
I mean, especially when you look, if you're Bob Iger and look, Thunderbolts is a good movie. No, we didn't make money on it.
Yeah.
Or you just do what we've been talking about here, which is stop spending the kind of money. There's no world. Look, I liked Thunderbolts a lot. Yeah. If the movie did cost $200 million, shame on you. There's no, you can't spend that kind of money on these movies. Yeah. And you can't. It's like, I get spending taking the risk at an Avengers movie. I really do understand it. I don't like spending that kind of money, but I think I'm always excited to talk about trade coffee. Coffee's not just a drink. Honestly, it's like a ritual. It's a lifeline. It's the bridge between when you're half asleep and you're ready to just conquer the day. I know it is for me. And if it is that essential, why do you want to settle for anything less than extraordinary? That's where trade comes in. I love trade so much. It is part of my routine every morning. It is the #1 U.S. coffee destination. It brings you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Trade's prices are on par with grocery store brands, but the quality, though, it's for me, it's next level. Plus, you are supporting local roasters. It really is a win-win. If you're headed out on summer vacation with Trade subscription flexibility, you can pause it, you can shift delivery when you're away, and resume when you're home, ensuring that you're going to get the coffee. I swear by Trade coffee, guys. You know I do. If you've been watching my show long enough, you know that I can't shut up about Trade coffee. I love them. I love the different qualities. I love the quantity. I love the taste. I love the smell of it. I love Trade coffee. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our listeners 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/Kristian. That is a deal. That is drinktrade, TRADE.com/Kristian. Get 50% off for your 1-month trial. Drinktrade.com/Kristian. I don't like the fact I definitely don't like spending that kind of money because I don't have that kind of money. But I don't like
See left-handed glove. See left-handed glove.
Right, exactly. I don't like spending $5 on a left-handed glove. But what I'm saying is that, like, I see that in general, but I'll understand it. Like, I get it. You're gonna make a $200 million Marvel movie with the Avengers. You get Downey back, or whatever, $500 million. Well, I understand.
It's more of a sure bet. Yeah,
spending $200 million on a Thunderbolts movie.
Yeah,
spending these kind of the kind of budget they're made. Look at, I'm always using Kong and Godzilla as the example. The movie cost $120 million to make, and because they didn't have super high price talent, they had good talent, not high price talent, and they didn't break the bank. And that's what these studios really should be doing. And they're pulling back on some of this streaming stuff, pulling back on some of these things. I don't think I'm hoping they did. There was a report on Comic Book Movie that came out. We talked about on Friday about all the remaining shows that are coming out and movies. And I think I had, as far as ranked to what I wanted to say, I think it was Superman, Peacemaker, Fantastic Four, Wonder Man, and then I can't remember what the fifth one.
Ironheart.
I don't care about Ironheart, and I don't care about those Marvel Zombies. I don't care about either one of those. Now, Ironheart could win me over if it's good, and Ryan Coogler actually had a lot of effort with it. I don't think it fares well that they're dumping 3 episodes and then another 3 episodes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and I more situation.
Yeah, I just don't think the character, Riri's character, hit the way that they thought that she would in Black Panther 2.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to wind up being one of the, it's kind of going to be like Echo. It's going to be here and then it's going to be gone.
100%.
Yeah. But are you looking forward to that one?
I'm hopefully optimistic, but that trailer, I liked her. I didn't like Anthony, and I'm just heartbroken at some of Anthony Ramos's choices. Like, I think that kid should be booking better work or better quality stuff, and it's heartbreaking because he's so good. And so, you got to do what you got to do. But like, he didn't come off from that trailer looking scary or a villain you need to be worried about or anything like that. It just felt a little at times like it was young adult. And I get it. She's a young girl and all of that. But like, I think there should have been a stronger element from that trailer from his side of things. And the hood looked just ridiculous. So I just was like, yeah, this ain't the.
Wonder Man to me is a little bit more I'm curious about because I like a lot. Yeah.
And Eyes of Wakanda, they just released some.
Oh, right. That was
that.
Yeah,
that looks fun.
Eyes of Wakanda was, I think, the one that that's that animated. That I'm way more interested in that animated than I am the zombies one. I think the zombies is a waste of time and money.
That's just for the fans. I hear you.
It's a waste of time and money. Put that towards something else.
Yeah,
it's a waste. There'll be people who are fans of it, but I'm like, but it goes back to Iger going, what happened when I was gone?
Yeah.
Like, what are we greenlighting? What are we putting? We're putting everything out. It's like, so there's going to be way less. Like what?
Yeah.
Because both Wonder Man and Ironheart are both part of the quantity, not quality phase.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they're good though. because you never know what
Yeah,
will happen.
and the
But
Vision series, the one that's coming,
in the Vision Quest,
that was
right? Because that's like the third part, right? You had
trilogy.
Wanda, you had Agatha, and because Agatha I thought was way better than I thought it was.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. But what do you think of the 2027 movie? That's probably the Doctor Strange, right? Doctor Strange 3, if they're going to keep that slot.
I couldn't give two shits if they ever make a Doctor Strange movie again. I loved the first one. I thought the second one was a Sam Raimi movie. It had nothing to do with anything. And I like him. I want to see Doctor Strange return. I didn't. I would be walking in there like, unless Derrickson comes back. If they have him come back. Outside of
I agree, because that Raimi film was horrific.
It was a Raimi film. It was you knew that was going to happen. It's like it was because I get it. Feige is a Raimi fanboy. He worked on Spider-Man with him. He looks up to him, and I get looking up to him. It's Sam Raimi. I understand that, but he just said, "Oh, Sam, make a we want a Sam Raimi movie in Marvel." It's like, no, we half of the audience did, the Raimi heads. Like I'm telling you, this I took my friend with me to that screening when we went, and he's a big Raimi guy.
Yeah. And
he's like, that was great, wasn't it? And I'm like, I'm not a Raimi guy. I've never been a big Raimi guy. It's like there's some visual stuff that he did was incredible. Some like the piano stuff. It was a great Raimi moment.
Sure.
Utterly useless for the storytelling.
There were so many story issues with that movie, and the Raimi heads refuse to see it or don't want to see it. But there are so many story issues, and all of Raimi's films have story issues. Even Spider-Man 2, which everyone worships at, it feels dated nowadays, and it has some story issues. Still doesn't mean that there aren't some beautiful moments, and certainly the payoff in No Way Home, having Alfred Molina come back as Doc Ock and have that scene with is great. Yeah, but there's a lot of problems.
There's some early 2000 stuff going on in it, but that's just a product of its time. We just watched it again with Sam. It's a good movie. I mean, one or two are really they're good movies. They are dated. There's no doubt about it, but they're really good movies. And I think I can understand the argument for people making 2 the best Spider-Man. It's not my favorite Spider-Man, but I understand the argument. It's a really good movie. And 3, I kind of, in the same way that we were defending Joel Schumacher beforehand, I don't blame Spider-Man 3 on Sam Raimi. I really don't. I blame the studio for getting us involved, because they made him do so much that he didn't want to do. He didn't want to over stack it with all the villains. He didn't want to focus on Venom in this one. He wanted to do other stuff. He had the 4th one ready. I mean, they were like, what, a week out from shooting the 4th one when all that shit went down.
Yeah.
And like, so he was kind of, again, bullied out of it in the way that, so I don't really blame him for what happened. There was some really goofy shit going on in the 3rd one.
Yeah.
Like, of course, Bibbs will defend it as it's the best Spider-Man that ever came out. But I mean, I just feel like, between that,
some of the story pitches Bibbs gave you for the show. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that and Gremlins 2. He wanted to do a full Gremlins 2 thing too, like him and Mance on the Gremlins 2. Worst. Anyway,
but he's a hit or miss for me, Ray. Because like, for love of the game, that is the worst Kevin Costner baseball movie. I mean, the whole Kelly Preston storyline is ridiculous in that movie.
Even did that.
Yeah, and then Drag Me to Hell is awesome. I think when he pares it down, he is good. Like
Evil Dead.
Good. But when you go the budget's exponent, he now goes, I can do my wacky shit now at higher budget.
The argument would be this. The argument would be from because you know how it is. The argument is especially from Kevin Feige, like, oh yeah, you guys didn't like it. Well, you guess what? It made $800 million.
Sure.
Look at like the Spider-Man movies at that time.
Sure.
Spider-Man 1 was the highest grossing opening weekend ever for a movie. So jokes on you, idiots, and not wrong, because people still $800 million for Doctor Strange 2. I wouldn't if I would have seen that movie and then all by myself a month earlier, I'd be like, I don't think this movie's going to do very well. But clearly, it was also during the Marvel machine still kind of moving forward. But I'm curious what people like. What does the audience think that's watching this? Most people put for the audience that's watching live right now.
Yeah.
As far as Doctor Strange 2 goes, just put loved it, liked it, or hated it. And I'm curious to all the different opinions that we get that are coming in from the almost 500 people watching right now.
Hey, Johnny Steven, how about this? Maybe, just maybe, we're more honest about Sam Raimi than you are.
What happened? What did he even say?
Maybe, just maybe.
What did he say?
We're being more honest than you are about.
You don't even know what he said.
He just said, maybe, just maybe, you guys don't like Sam Raimi. It's not that.
Well, no, it's not that. It is absolutely not that,
Just talk
because
about the films we did like from him. So yeah.
totally, I like Sam Raimi, and I like Sam Raimi as a filmmaker. I don't like him for that movie, and I don't like it. Like, if you're giving, and in the same way that if Sam Raimi, like we just said, Evil Dead, all those things, if you're giving Sam Raimi an original thing to do, Sam Raimi is a brilliant director. I'm not.
Darkman is a fun guilty pleasure.
I love Darkman.
Yeah.
Him doing his own thing. If you're giving him one of these movies with the connectivity and all that, it doesn't become a connectivity movie. And well, that's what you want, a different style. No, look at Ryan Coogler did with Black Panther.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler made it his own, made it his movie, but he connected it all the way through. That is not an MCU movie. It's a Sam Raimi movie with crazy Sam Raimi visuals. I didn't, so to answer your question, no, I don't like Sam Raimi for that movie.
Yes,
Sam Raimi in general, yes, I do. So you're right and you're wrong at the same time.
Right.
So,
people just can't handle criticism. It's immediately like, you just hate him. It's like, no, it's a more nuanced thing than that.
No, it's 100%. All right, what do you guys think about it? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know, please.